Hey, good morning to everybody. So look at what we're working here. We have now this opportunity. This is a 2019 Hyundai ioniq. Hi, welcome to this new episode. Now this is going to be very interesting because this vehicle came for a normal service, but I want to get this opportunity to share with you the condition of this hybrid vehicle after only 30,000 kilometers. Why is my point? Because this vehicle has been going to service every single schedule to the firm. But let's see the condition of the engine, and I want to share with you the condition of the clutch fluid. Because you remember, I'm always stubborn insisting that you have to use the very best oil in the market, and you have to change often the brake fluid. So if you want to find out what's the real condition of the engine oil and the fluid, stick around and we will continue that. All right, let's take a quick look. So this 2019 ioniq has only, let me show you, 28,146 kilometers. So as you can see, it's a vehicle with very low mileage. All right, let's take a quick look on the engine. All right, everything looking nice and, well, not clean at all. See, I put my hand. The Caribbean is sweaty. It's gonna be a short video, but the demonstration is, what do we do to prevent the engine from going bad and creating sludge? And then of course, what do we do to preventing the clutch fluid going bad? We have tutorials about that. But what I want to share with you is the condition of this vehicle after 30,000 kilometers. We could say this vehicle is still new. All right. Let me open the engine oil cap first, and let's take a look at the engine inside. We will continue. All right. So we can clearly see, well, after 30,000 kilometers, the level of coolant is a tiny little low, so we're just gonna top it up. However, it's weird because the coolant usually does not evaporate and does not goes down on this vehicle. So let me make an inspection because this vehicle has 3 years barely driving. Let's continue. Let's check the oil. All right, first moment of truth. 28,000 kilometers, and let's take a quick look from the engine inside. Now if you see this with me, I'm pretty sure that you will agree that this condition is simply not acceptable at all. Less than 30,000 kilometers and engine sludge. The customer is telling me they should go in every single service schedule to the firm, okay? Probably twice a year, depending of the mileage of this vehicle. We have to remember, this is the Caribbean, so this is hot weather. But 30,000 kilometers and the engine with this level of carbon build. Look at my fingers. I ain't lying to you. And once again, this vehicle is new as it gets. All right, let's keep going. Of course, I'm going to change the oil, but we're going to find out in this vehicle as well the very best oil that you could use for your ioniq and the Hyundai Kona and the Kia Niro. They're all the same engine. Okay, so I will show you two. All right, we will continue. Before we continue, before we lifting up the vehicle, okay, let's take a quick look to the brake fluid. Why? Well, because I want to make the comparison between the engine, the main braking system fluid and the engine clutch fluid, which they're supposed to be the same fluid, okay? Not together. Every single has its own reservoir. But let's check first the brake fluid, because I wanted to compare it, okay? So let's continue. Right. So the engine brake. Well, not the engine, the brake fluid. Let's take a quick look at it. All right. Look, it has. All right. So take a look at the brake fluid. So the brake fluid looks still gold. Okay, transparent. Well, obviously it has a little filter over there, but I don't see any dark color over there at all. Very difficult to appreciate from the camera's perspective. Okay, but then we want to compare this one, which is, it looks very nice and very clean, believe me. I want to compare this with the clutch fluid, which is exactly the same. It's just brake fluid. Let's continue. Okay, so once under the vehicle, let's take a quick inspection. All right, everything looking good. This, a little oily, but this is definitely coming from the dual clutch system. Okay, not the engine clutch. The engine clutch is over here. But then this is exactly what I wanted to see. Let's check the condition of the clutch fluid to this vehicle after less than 30,000 kilometers. Let me take it out and we will continue. I wonder why this is a little oily. It's weird. I'm still gonna clean it anyway. We will continue that. So I have it right here in my hands. Okay, so let me just share with you the true condition of the clutch fluid of the ioniq, Kona, or Niro after, before 30,000 kilometers. All right, but this is not so much. You can see still color, but if you compare it to the one on the brake fluid, the one on the brake fluid is still transparent. Now let's open this up. Let's see what we got here. In a second. All right, I'm showing you this live. Second. Okay, let's let it drain. Drain, come on. There you go. So that's my point. It's not even transparent. It has a bunch of sludgy material there. Can you see? Those kind of crystal jelly. Nothing much different. That's servicing a normal vehicle with a higher mileage. Let's take a look again. Now from a better perspective. Whoa. Unbelievable. So then now you understand why I'm always recommending to change the clutch fluid every single time you servicing your vehicle. So now we're gonna take a look to the owner's manual to see how often the owner's manual, okay, recommends you to replace the clutch actuator fluid. So I have nothing else to do over here. This is crap. Okay, look. Let me clean it up and let's check the owner's manual before we assemble it back. Okay, we will continue then. We're not even using piece of crap clutch fluid, which is brake fluid, full synthetic AMSOIL. But all right, as you can see, ready to assemble back in. New as it gets. So let me top it up, assemble, and then you see now what's going on with the clutch actuator fluid from the Hyundai ioniq, Kia Niro, and Hyundai Kona, the hybrids. Okay, that for some reason it begins to break down very fast comparing to the brake master cylinder fluid, that it's still as good as new as transparent, but not this one. So I could say there's a big argument about this. Well, aggressive changes of temperature, cold and too hot, because my point is because it's located right in front of the radiator. It's very hostile. We're talking about probably water incursion. Probably. But one thing for sure, this material breaks down extremely fast. So we changed it already. Let me put the brand new AMSOIL, like the very best full synthetic brake fluid, and then we're gonna change the engine oil. And I will show you the very best engine oil that you can use for your Hyundai ioniq, Kia Niro, and Hyundai Kona hybrid. We will continue then. So this is how she's supposed to look. Fully transparent. That for some reason this material breaks down extremely fast. So now you know, every single service, replace this damn fluid. Okay, so right now we're using the very best, the full synthetic AMSOIL. So I'm sticking with AMSOIL to recommend it to everybody. So let me assemble this and we will get to the engine oil. We will continue then. So the clutch fluid is assembled now and the reservoir right there, and that is how she is supposed to look. But then once again, the main problem is, look at the location right in front of the radiator fan. Okay? There you go. So indeed, extremely hostile environment. So we're done with the clutch. Now you know that if you want to keep your clutch without any problems at all over time, use the very best. I'm using here the AMSOIL, okay? Full synthetic brake fluid, and replace it every single time you service the vehicle. One of my best recommendation, okay? We're done with that. However, when we take down the vehicle, we're gonna check the owner's manual schedule, see how often Hyundai recommends you to change the clutch actuator fluid. We're done with the clutch for now. We're going to replace the engine oil, and let's see what, according to Hybrid Solution Diagnostics, is going to be the very best engine oil that you can use. So let me just remind you guys that if you're liking this content, hit that red button, like and subscribe. You gotta support the channel. Okay, we will continue then. Now changing the oil in the ioniq, Niro or Kona is very easy. The filter is right under the vehicle. The engine pan, it's 17 millimeter. Quite easy to change. So let me take out the fluid and see the condition of the fluid. However, the first thing I showed you guys when we first opened the engine cap, see how much carbon build this engine making. Less than 30,000 kilometers. Can you freaking believe that? We will continue then. I have it right here. I'm gonna say it has any color, but then if this is so, why is this engine producing so much carbon build inside? Well, one of the first things that I always recommend when you're changing your oil is look at the position of the draining hole. It's not below, it's not quite below the level, okay, but a little over, probably a couple of centimeters, which it won't allow you to take out directly everything. The very best you can do, just warm up the engine and make sure all the fluid is circulating, and right away turn it off and take it out immediately, so you won't allow any kind of debris or whatever sludgy, okay, gets to the bottom of the engine pan. That's the very best recommendation. Okay, let's change the filter now. So once we took out the filter, don't forget to just pass a piece of cloth to where the engine sits, and then properly clean inside the unit. See? There's always sludge there. Can you see now? And there's my point. All right. Let's just give it time to drain a little bit. Should be good. I wonder what in the world is this? Now it's coming from the clutch, from the dual clutch. I don't know, but anyway. It's clearly coming from the dual clutch. But anyway, let's give it a little more time, and then we're gonna use some pressure air to take out everything from inside before assembling the brand new filter. Okay, so we will continue then. All right, so now that we know that the assembly is fully clean, nothing, no disgusting oil is draining now, it's time to put the filter. Okay, so we will continue then. It's noisy here in the shop today. Jose, what is the best oil that I can use for my Hyundai Kona, Ioniq and Niro? Want to know, show me the very best. And I won't change it anymore, brand, none of this. I will skip into it. Well, let me show you. There we go. The Untitled Signature Series 5W30 that guarantees 25,000 miles of protection or 1 year. Okay, let's be a little skeptical. 25,000 miles. I said I could believe that, but what I don't believe over here is weather. It's hot weather. So do not wait 25,000 miles, because any oil that you will use, it doesn't matter if they tell you the last 2 years, it won't last. Because remember, it's always heavy duty work inside an engine at a very, very high temperature. So carbon build is always going to come. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna top up the filter before we assemble it. Every single filter that goes in this position, you have to fill it up with oil, right? So you won't allow any air or any mechanical wear, rubbing happen when the engine it's all starting. Okay, that only applies when you're servicing the vehicle. But the AMSOIL Signature Series, okay, indeed is a great oil that money can get. So after 1 year, I believe it's too much mileage, but let's say over 10,000 kilometers, 12,000 kilometers, you change the oil not more than 10 or 12,000 kilometers, you should have your engine as good as it gets for hundreds and thousands of kilometers. I can guarantee that for experience. I'm using the Signature Series myself in my hybrid vehicles. I've been using this one for a long time to all my customers, and believe me, the difference, it's amazing. Okay, so let me just top up the system. Let's start the vehicle and we're almost done. But if you want the very best oil, this is the very best money can get. It doesn't matter if it's hybrid or not. Use the very best oil. Do not go cheap with your oil, because cheap oil will produce carbon build more often. Okay, so the Hyundai Ioniq is designed to use the exterior, which is full synthetic. Okay, but I hate to say it, but the exterior is a piece of crap. Okay, for experience, that oil you would have to change it probably every 4,000 to 5,000 kilometers if you want that oil to last for sure. But then, all right, it's better just to pay a little more. You will get the AMSOIL Signature Series, and you will change it easily every 10 to 12,000 kilometers, and you will be changing a good oil for a good oil. So let's continue. Now that we fully top up the filter completely before assembling, what if you say, if you just put it on the vehicle, very carefully, and that's it. So the filter is, I'll just make a little pressure with a filter holder. You can even use your hands with a piece of cloth. Very hard, that's more than enough. Do not ever use this tool to tighten the filter. You can break the metal case of the filter and you will have an oil leak, because remember, that's oil, that's pressurized oil at a high temperature. Okay, so be careful. You can use your hand if you're strong enough like me. Okay, you can use it. If not, just use a normal oil filter wrench that doesn't stitch into the filter. Okay, so we will continue. It's been draining for a little while, but before we assemble it, let's take a look at the bowl. Let's see how is it. And look, full up with carbon build. Blah. Sorry. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna spray it out with some carburetor cleaner, and yet still look, still carbon build not going out. Oh, there you go. Get out of here. Incredible. There you go. All right. So if it does this carbon build to the little bolt underneath. Just imagine all the carbon build that's gonna come inside your engine sidewalls, especially on the top of the engine where the head cylinder head, the valve, chamber, all those stuff. It's very hot, so it creates carbon build and begins to create some sort of a carbon layer, and that is precisely what damages your engine over time if you do not change the engine oil often. And that is the reason why you always need to use the very best oil in the market that you can find, AMSOIL in this case, okay, to keep the engine as clean as possible. Okay, so we're almost done. Let's continue then. So the engine is totally filled up with brand new oil. Okay, all right, yeah, see how the engine dirty inside, right? What about the engine cap? So here what I'm gonna do in a second. Sorry, there you go. Well, I wish I could do this very same thing to the engine, but you said, okay, obviously with this type of material, type of product, cleaning products, it will clean it for sure, but you will have to fully take apart the engine to take all that sludgy. But the one thing that the AMSOIL Signature series does, it properly cleans the engine by itself. Jose, what about the engine flush? I'm totally against engine flush for technical reasons, because of what it does is just remove everything, and it can just clog the oil pan collector, and that is a net metal filter that gets clogged and is actually worse. So just let the oil do its job. It will properly clean the engine over time, okay? And just change the oil more as often as possible. In this case, if you're using the AMSOIL Signature series, not more than 12,000 kilometers, okay? We're almost done. One of the things that we always need to check, the service maintenance records. First service, 2019, 2,800 kilometers. 2020, 8,500 kilometers. 2020, 14,000 kilometers. 2021, 16,000 kilometers. September 2021, 19,000 kilometers. Right now is September 1st, 2022, and it's 28,000 kilometers. But then my point is that it has a normal service schedule, probably using some sort of synthetic oil. I suppose it will be the Exterior, and that's my point. With a vehicle with such a low mileage, okay, beginning to build carbon build in the engine oil, not acceptable. And that is the main reason why I always suggest stick with the very best engine oil market can give you. Okay, in this case, AMSOIL Signature series. Let's check the period of time that you should replace the clutch fluid according to the service manual. We'll continue. All right, pay attention because this is extremely important. So as you can see, the engine oil recommends Shell Helix, okay, 4 quarts, okay, 5W30, okay. That's one thing. The dual clutch transmission fluid. The transmission fluid takes 1.6, 1.7 quarts, almost 2. 70 weight, okay. It could also recommend the Spirax S6, okay, dual clutch 70 weight as well. The engine clutch actuator fluid, okay, more or less 100 to 20 and 20 cc's of .3. Nothing will happen if you apply, of course, the .4, which has way much more resistance to high temperature changes because it's full synthetic. So that's one of the very best you could get. So let's take a look now, according to the service manual, how often you need to replace the clutch actuator fluid. Give me a second, just continue. All right, so the engine clutch actuator fluid, inspect every month or 15,000 kilometers and replace every 2 years or 30,000 kilometers. Let me say that 2 years or 30,000 kilometers. As we can see now, this vehicle has a little over probably 3 years, less than 30,000 kilometers, and the fluid was already breakdown. Okay, so I could agree with the owner's manual that's telling you that replace the clutch actuator fluid every 2 years or 15 or 30,000 kilometers. I would say probably once a year at least replace your clutch actuator fluid. So according to our research, our experience working with this Hyundai Ioniq, Hyundai Kona, okay, as well as the Kia Niro. Remember, they all use the, oh, it's hot. They all use the very same fluid, okay? Change it once a year. But if you ask me, Jose, what would you do? Well, I am replacing the clutch actuator fluid to all my customers every single service. That's it. With me, your car will be protected as it gets. Okay, so we will continue that. And there you go. Just after a little pressure and a little brush and whatever, you don't really need to wash this and apply water to clean the engine compartment. All right, we already top up a little bit with the original coolant, a good additive for the water. Okay, but then we're missing one of the biggest issues over time, which is the fuel system. And for the fuel system, look at what I got. The AMSOIL upper cylinder lubricant. It's not about lubricants, but it's one of the very best fuel injector clean it in the market. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw this additive inside the vehicle's tank right there. Whoop. Look, 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 look. All right, you're done. You might be asking me, why in the world are these fuel system additive? Well, very simple, especially to this vehicle, because we're talking about GDI system. GDI stands for gasoline direct injection. In other words, you know how diesel vehicle works with a mechanical high pressure fuel pump. Well, this Ioniq is exactly the very same system. Oh my god, it's hot. It uses a gasoline direct injection right here with a high pressure mechanical fuel pump that injects directly the fuel at high pressure, full spray, okay, directly into the cylinder. So in order to keep this fuel system as clean as possible, you have to use the very best the market can give you. In other words, you can use this one, the AMSOIL, or the other one, of course, the Lucas. The Lucas fuel treatment, even better. I use it in my vehicle every single fuel tank. It's just about probably $8, something like that. So it is very affordable. So if you want to keep your engine fuel system the best it could get, use a very additive, especially if you have GDI system. Not only because it cleans, but it also lubricates the fuel pump, the electric fuel pump inside the tank, and the mechanical fuel pump. It's about preventive maintenance, guy. That's the very secret to extend this vehicle's life for years and years and years. I am not interested in your vehicle to go bad. On the contrary, I love you to come by me, but for normal preventive maintenance. Because the problem is, I understand what users or customers can feel when your vehicle is going bad, especially if you have to spend a lot of money. Yeah, you get sick for sure. So that is one of the main purpose of this YouTube channel, preventive maintenance, that you can apply properly to this hybrid vehicle. It's not only this one, it applies to any vehicle, whether it's hybrid, whether it's fully electric, or whether it's normal internal combustion engine vehicle. But anyway, this channel is about hybrid. So like and subscribe, hit the button, support the channel. It's about preventive maintenance. Hybrid Solution Diagnostic is a channel made for you. I love you. I hope you guys like this episode. So I'll see you guys in the very next episode. Bye bye. I'll see you then.